Hello, I'm David Chaston with 90 at 9, brought to you by interest.co.nz. This week, get everything you need to know in 90 seconds at 9 o'clock, including news of record low oil prices. But first up today, the latest Fonterra dairy auction held overnight saw prices rise. They're up 2.4% in US dollar terms, 2.5% in New Zealand dollar terms. Leading the way was butter, which rose 10.4%. The key whole milk powder price rose 1.4%, with the skim milk price down 3.2%. This is the third rise in the past 5 auctions, and over that period, overall prices have flatlined. Volumes offered this time were low, and the lowest since June. The Kiwi dollars pipped up on the news. American building permits and housing starts in November all grew at a slower rate over October, and in some cases the growth was less than a year ago, but the trends are all higher. It was a similar story in the American manufacturing sector. Output and new orders continued to rise at a solid pace in December, but both rates of expansion eased to the smallest in 11 months. In China, their factory activity actually shrank in December for the first time in 7 months, the latest in a string of weak economic indicators that will intensify calls for more stimulus measures to hit off a hard landing. Despite all this, there was actually quite a sharp rise in the reported foreign direct investment into China in the year to November in data out overnight. It is up more than 20% year on year. In Europe, the story was a bit brighter. Eurozone business activity grew at a slightly faster rate in December, but the pace of expansion was still one of the weakest seen over the past year. But as the ECB people keep reminding us, despite the talk, the Eurozone is not yet in recession. And as reported late yesterday, the Russian central bank imposed a sudden sharp rise in official interest rates to try and halt the slide in the ruble. The rate jumped from 10.5% to 17%. Despite this, their currency fell to record lows again overnight, inducing further panic in the nation's financial industry. They've spent $80 billion defending the ruble, and that has now stopped. They say they have no plans to institute capital controls, although that is just the sort of thing you say before imposing them. Benchmark US Treasury 10-year bond yields fell again overnight and are now at 2.05%. We'll get an echo of that in our swap rates here later today. Interest rate markets are now awaiting tomorrow's Fed decisions, especially how it handles the now famous 2 words, considerable time. The oil price is down again, now at $56 a barrel, although it briefly did slip below $55. The price of Brent crude is now below $60 a barrel. It has not been this low since 2009. Many large exploration and development projects are now threatened. The gold price also fell, now below $1,200 at $1,196 an ounce. But despite all this apparent turmoil, stock markets are higher, with the S&P back over the 2,000 level. We start today with our currency at 77.9 US cents, 94.8 Aussie cents, and the TWIs at 78.3. I'm David Chaston. That was 90 at 9, brought to you by interest.co.nz.